What's up, y'all? It's your boy Major 7th, 1/4 of the New Old Heads podcast, repping for episode 445, where we discuss Tyler, the Creator's new pivot, his new transition to his new project, and also how his core fans may react to this new project coming off of Chromacopia, the album that was released last year. We also jumped into the Clipse and their rollout for their most recent album, which has been very successful. Is this one of the best rollouts for a hip hop artist of all time, or one of the best rollouts? We also discussed Pusha T responding to people saying that the Clipse only rap about one thing. And then we did something a little bit different. We usually do reviews for lyrics and we, watch videos, but we actually watched the short film for Alfredo Part 2 with Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist. Episode 445, New Old Heads Podcast. Remember, like, subscribe, bell for notifications, and sign up for Patreon. Peace.
You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The brothers are in the building. Starting off with my man, Jay Moore. How are you, good sir?
Doing well. If you woke up this morning, you already won.
I heard that. My man, Lonegevity. Hey, buddy.
Howdy. How's it going?
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. My man, DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutations.
Everything good your way?
I mean, as good as it's gonna be, I guess.
You still about
been a rough week.
No, I feel you. You still about uplifting black folks though when you can?
Yeah, I do that 24/7.
My man.
But yeah.
It's them people that be close to you, man. You gotta help them.
We gonna do this? We gonna do this, man?
No, we ain't gonna do this. I don't want people thinking you're not a good black man. I ain't gonna do that.
It's like, what does that even mean?
Don't do that, Long. Don't do that. How you gentlemen doing today?
Well,
good
as
to
I
see
just
y'all.
said.
No, man, I have to come back around. It's a general question, Long. I just want to see if anything's changed. You guys are good. That's all. We go through
July
this every
sucks,
week.
man. I'll just say July is a terrible month.
I respect it.
I don't like it, other than a few special days. But yeah, Malcolm-Jamal Warner, aka Theo,
man,
Huxtable has passed away.
Listen, man,
that's the craziest.
That's what I woke up to yesterday. Like, I got to sleep in on a Monday, and a rare Monday, and my phone had been blowing up, and I had not seen it till like 1 in the afternoon.
I was at work, and somebody says, one of my coworkers says, Theo Huxtable just died. I said, what?
Man, he hasn't been on the air in a long time.
And I'm like,
I watch the Cosby Show literally every day,
and I'm like, Malcolm-Jamal Warner. She was like, yeah, go look. And I looked online. I said,
yeah, I thought the dude told me at work too. I thought he was bullshitting because his link said TMZ.TV. I'm like, man, that ain't real, man. Get out of here.
And what's crazy about him is child actor, obviously, a part of all of our childhoods. You can make a case for this being the coldest sitcom ever made. I stand on it. And he was a musician as well. Like, had started his own group, and he was out there performing, and he had just started a podcast with Keisha Knight Pulliam. They had talked about some stuff on a couple episodes.
Was she on the show with him, or was she just a guest?
It might have been a guest. It might have been a guest.
Yeah.
Might have been a guest.
I think it might have been him and his wife, maybe.
Fair enough. Yeah, I stand corrected if that's true. But man, that's tough, man. Like, everybody knows Gordon Gartrell. Everybody knows Miss Westlake. Everybody knows Justine. Like, these are our timeless moments from our childhood. And as we get older, we start to see people leave that we grew up on, and it just shows you that, it's cliche, but Father Time is undefeated, 100%.
Yeah, cultural icon.
Come on.
Crazy how people may not realize how big of a deal the Cosby Show was.
Facts.
But this is a show that pulled about a 35 share in the ratings every Thursday. I think it was like 5 years where it was the number one show on television. It always won its time slot. And
by far, though.
Oh, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah, it was by far.
Like there was 1 year, I believe the World Series was broadcast on NBC. And they were like, yeah, World Series is important, but we still got to get this episode of The Cosby Show on. So that's the cultural impact of that show. Specifically, Theo, I mean, like, of course you say, because, I've talked about this before of how television is something that we relate to, and we see the joy that comes through those characters, and we try to relate that joy to whatever it is that we're going on in our lives. And sometimes the lack of joy, that's really part of the image problem of black people on television for a lot of years up until the Cosby Show. And, Theo was just a character, even though his character was older than me, that I related to.
Mm-hmm.
This is the wild thing about the Cosby Show, is how many people, when I got to college, who the Cosby Show to them was like, you might as well be watching Star Wars. Because I remember talking to people and say that just wasn't real.
Yeah.
But if you are from the south side of Chicago, or maybe it was rough and, father was not in the home or whatever, and, you certainly didn't have an upstairs and a downstairs and a father who had multiple sweaters.
Facts.
I could see where that would come from, but at the same time, that was a lot closer to my reality than Good Times, if you will. They were cartoonishly poor to me. Like, I understand there are people who related more to Good Times than they did the Cosby Show, but 100%. I also think that was the problem.
Yeah. Back then, the middle class actually existed, so you could have had a balance of both or knew somebody on both sides of things. And I think that what the Cosby Show actually did for people our age and younger and older, because my daughter watches Cosby Show now.
That's dope. That's dope.
It was the introduction to this can be you.
Right.
And then it, kind of encouraging people if they wanted to go to college with the follow up of
Different World.
You know what I'm saying? It was a culturally rich time period that was inspiring a lot of young people coming up. And it's something that kind of stuck with a lot of us to this day. That's why I think it's affecting a lot of people, like they lost somebody they know. Because technically you did, in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Theo was somebody that we grew up with. 100%.
Absolutely.
Just off the popularity of the show, the magnitude of the show. I feel like Theo is just one of the homies. Like, we just grew up watching him.
And what, even though this was a show about this, not just middle class, but upper middle class black family, is that Theo wasn't a perfect character.
Right.
One of the things that, of course, I dig way too deep into these things, as you all know.
Oh, yeah.
Is that I, actually have a theory about the Cosby Show was actually about Theo. Like,
I remember you saying that.
The very first episode, it was like, when Dr. Huxtable said, he said, well, I just want to be regular people.
Yeah.
And he's basically said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You're going to try.
Yeah.
I brought you in this world. I'll take you out.
Mm-hmm.
And the final episode is Theo graduating from college.
Facts.
So if you watch every season of the show, there's one very Theo-centered episode, if not more than one, about trying to raise a black man in America.
And all of those episodes were, to your point, which actually has always made me think about your theory, is the Theo episodes usually, if not always, were heavy. There's always something serious going on when they featured him. There's something that he had to deal with, overcome. He always has to come back to Cliff and talk about, like, when just
struggling with dyslexia.
There we go.
That was a big
what I'm
one
talking about.
for
Yeah,
me,
stuff
because
like
especially there was a point where I had been diagnosed with a learning disability that I didn't find out about until late. And because a lot of times they catch them when they're young, but mine didn't have to do with. A lot of times, a lot of people are misdiagnosed. That's why I don't really like to talk about that. But I figure, why not? Because that's what we do here.
For sure.
Is because they just say, oh, you're putting all these kids on these drugs and it's messing with their minds. But part of the reason why I didn't get diagnosed until I was a junior in high school is because when you're not a behavior problem, like, they don't pick up on it. They just say, oh, well, he's not paying attention. Or he's not doing this, or he's engaging in class, but for whatever reason it's just not translating to what goes on the paper.
That's real.
Or he has potential. We know he can do it.
Yeah.
It's always that type of thing.
We don't have to sit him out in the hall.
Right.
And so he's perfectly fine.
So much of teachers and attention, administrators, who what have you, is focused on the discipline problems. And then I do think that is a problem. Is like, I'll just put them on some sort of pill and maybe it'll be quiet. But when you're already quiet and you're already, they're just thinking either you just don't get it, or potentially you're just lazy. And that was part of that dyslexia episode where there was a real thing where it was like, how do you not get this? And you as parents, not that you feel bad, but you just didn't know. And I thought that was a very You know, up to that point, like I had never seen anything like that on television.
You know, you see now I'm starting to see, and everybody's affected by it that, you know, grew up in our era or paid attention to the show. You see lists where they say, oh man, let's name the top 10 black sitcoms. Let's do this with the black sitcoms. And I'm thinking to myself, this is one of the coldest sitcoms, period. I don't put this on let's just compare the black shows. I'm talking about across the board.
Yeah.
This is one of the great illest shows ever to be made.
Yeah, unfortunately, it suffered the situation with Bill Cosby himself. It's one of those situations where, like, do you separate the person that was
from the artist?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's one of those situations. And like I said, I literally, when I come home, if I'm watching anything, if I turn the TV on, it's the Cosby Show. Followed by Different World. Like, I'm still watching the same I watched when I was a kid.
Yeah.
That's why that one kind of gets a black eye because of that situation. And it's almost like you're punishing the other people on the show.
Which I think is unfair. Because I think that pulls from the greatness of that show because of one person. Now, granted, he's the person. I ain't about to lie. And, you know, I'm not about to absolve him from anything that he did or, you know, that was wrong. But to strip the credibility from all the rest of those people that were part of that great show.
And what it actually did culturally. Like,
exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Our side, whatever happened with that situation.
Yeah.
It still culturally inspired people
to do better.
To do better as a whole. You know what I'm saying?
To do better, yeah.
So that's the reason why that particular show is not mentioned. If all of this stuff hadn't happened, there's no way that they would not mention it. Like, even when they talk about top TV dads, you never see Dr. Huxtable on any of those shirts.
But in real life, he's arguably that guy.
Yeah. Look, Dr. Huxtable and Bill Cosby are two different people.
Facts.
Yeah. You know, I understand where people's issue is. I really do. I don't ever want to seem like I'm insensitive to that.
No, for sure.
You know, and I understand, like, last year was been the 40th anniversary of the Cosby Show. I understand why we didn't celebrate that.
Man, it would have been special.
That really should have been something, you know, that they should have, NBC could have completely rallied behind that.
Yeah.
But, you know, we can't. I just think that when you talk about Malcolm-Jamal Warner, of course we know him as Theo, but of course he's done other things. He was just recently on a show on Fox called The Resident.
The Resident was good.
Yeah. And, you know, he had done a show with Tracy Ellis Ross called Read Between the Lines. It was like the precursor to Blackish, if you will.
Yeah. They were married, weren't they? They were husband and wife? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, you know,
Malcolm and Eddie.
Malcolm and Eddie.
But, you know, also just on the hip-hop tip, he directed a lot of hip-hop videos.
Talk to him.
He was in a Funky Beat video.
He was in the Funky Beat video. They were definitely playing De La Soul on the Cosby Show, and I'm pretty sure that was his influence. Had Special Ed on the show as JT Freeze, you know. You know, like I said, I directed Special Ed's videos, directed videos for New Edition.
Yep, sure.
He hosted Saturday Night Live with Run DMC as the guest.
Yes.
You know, that was a big deal. I remember that.
Yes.
You know, so he has a connection to hip hop. He has a connection to the culture. You know, 54, you know, he was on vacation with his family. That's just sad, but
that's
still.
the worst part, bro.
Rest in peace to Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
Prayers to his family, man.
His contribution can't be denied.
Absolutely. Yeah, he definitely left his mark. So, yeah.
Facts. Homie Tyler is back in the news. Tyler, the creator, that is.
Yes, he is.
Recently just dropped a new project. And apparently Tyler, the creator, wants fans and his friends to dance again. This is per him. So Tyler just recently dropped an album called Don't Tap the Glass. Artwork is crazy, by the way. It was the big fist, if you've seen it. Look it up. The new album is focused on dance, feel-good vibes. This is Tyler's 9th album, and it comes less than a year after his release of the 2024 project that we reviewed, Chromacopia, which I loved. I thought it was great. That dropped last fall. So currently he's still on his world tour, so I don't know if he's going to, you know, infuse the new records or whatever. How do you all feel about the project and just the direction after just, you know, Chromacopia was a little bit more heavier, in my personal opinion, more layers, a little bit more depth. This is like, yo, we trying to get out here and dance. I'm getting right to the point. Bron in the video, Clipse in the video. I'm paying homage, and it's up. So how'd you guys feel about the album overall?
Yeah. It was,
I
mean, it's just being fair.
I respect it. Yeah,
it was subpar to me. I understand.
Okay.
I understand what he was doing as far as going for this dance angle.
Yeah.
But like overall, what he released, he probably could have tucked it and just took a couple singles and released those. Like I think I really like one song on there, and the reason why I vibe with it is because it sounds like a mixture of like a Sherelle and Michael Jackson off the wall style beat track song or whatever. So I like that joint, but overall, like it's just like a couple joints on there that I rock with.
Underwhelming, huh?
Very underwhelming. And I like the nod because like he always does like he's in character whenever he makes these albums.
Yeah.
So this character is supposed to be a nod to like the OG hip hop cats. That's why he's got, you know what I'm saying, the leather like LL Cool J pants and the big rope chain and all that shit.
He pays homage, which is dope.
Yeah, I mean that's cool.
Yeah.
But he could have just kept riding the Chronocopia wave, in my personal opinion.
What you think, Lon?
Yeah, I feel pretty much the same as Terry. We talked about it when he came over here because I just finished listening to it and then ran it again. But
yeah,
it sounds like Chromacopia throwaways to me.
Chromacopia throwaways.
Yeah, I didn't really. The thing is it's not that anything was like horrible.
Yeah.
It's just nothing stood out to me. I like the what was it, Mom and him.
Yeah.
I like where it was going.
Cool.
I liked where it was going, but it was like sure, it was like a minute and change.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff I didn't hate, but the bar is so low for how bad stuff can be now. So like even a Tyler album that's like something I'll never play again is still way better than a lot of stuff. But I would probably never go back to any of these songs. So
it was Ring 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 is the joint I was thinking.
Ring Ring Ring. That's the record.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd probably give it somewhere between like a 6.5 or something.
I'll be honest. I tend to agree with you all in terms of, just the record, because I see, after I sat down, listened to it, and I read, we'll talk about it, on the next topic, but his direction and his reasoning behind it, all that stuff made sense. But from a standpoint of actually enjoying the record, it was hit and miss.
Yeah.
A couple joints here, a couple joints there. Like he's a body of work guy to me. But I don't usually have to skip around for Tyler. On this one, I did a little bit more. But I will say this, man. From producer standpoint and him being a creative, it definitely takes balls to go this direction, because the production, granted, it might not be what I'm looking for. Based off what he described, he hit the nail on the head for what he was going for. I was impressed with, because it
wasn't really.
To me, I was impressed with some of the production for what he was trying to go
left
for.
field, though. To me, it wasn't even that the production was left field to where I don't mess with some of the songs. It just, as a whole, just wasn't it for me.
Yeah, I mean, like
I like the risk for the production. I ain't gonna hold you.
I thought I kind of stand by the fact that I think that these sound like Chromacopia throwaways because like. Even though like he kind of premised this like this is a dance record, I'm like there are a couple records I'm like who's dancing to this? It made me look at the project from a different point of view, but it still didn't make me like it anymore.
That's fair. What you think, Jay? Overall,
I really like this record.
I ain't mad at you.
I really do.
I like
really do.
I see what he was doing.
I mean, sometimes people say, they always say, "Oh, I'm gonna do something for the summertime." That is this. I enjoyed, like, there's a pocket on the album as far as with the ring ring, don't tap the glass. Yeah. Don't you worry, baby. Like, it's right there.
That was kind of like a instrumental type of track, though, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, but I'm just like I said, I enjoyed this record. I mean, it's not really a long listen.
Yeah, it's like 28 minutes.
And as far as anything that would be a Chromacopia, like, throwaway. And I really like the last song on the album, Tell Me What It Is. Like, that's as close as maybe like the introspective Tyler.
Yeah.
That, that we got from Chromacopia. Like I said, I like this record. It was fun to listen to. Like, a lot of times I don't have a lot of fun listening to these projects.
Because you want to dance.
Well,
he want to dance, don't he?
I don't know. Maybe I do want to dance. I don't know.
I don't know. I listened to it. It didn't make me want to dance. But
I will say that I listened to it the first time and was like,
Yeah,
I listened to it again. I was like, okay,
okay. That's exactly how it was too.
It got me as soon as the first listen. I was like, oh, okay, I vibe with this.
So here's a question I have on this album or this project or whatever we want to call it. How many of these joints you gonna run?
Ring, ring, ring. I would run that.
You still hanging up on just that one?
The one he got the single for.
Oh, with the
that?
Clipse and Bron them in there.
Big Poe, is that Big Poe?
Big Poe is dope. I like Big Poe.
Stop playing with me.
Stop playing with me is the one with Bron and the Clipse. I think in the video.
The one with Yebba is I'll Take Care of You.
I fool with Yebba. Yeah, I fool with Yebba.
It's either the Don't Worry Baby or I'll Take Care of You, which is one of those two is more instrumental.
Yeah,
like there's not really verses on it. So I mean,
so he can get some burn, a little bit of burn.
I can pick something off a trash album. That's not really saying nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, talk that
like
there.
Straight up. And I'm not saying this is a trash album.
No, I feel you.
I'm just saying like,
yeah,
even like some of the. We just had this conversation about, you know what I'm saying, having to pick between this CD and this CD on Tuesdays back in the day.
Yeah. It
might have had a song that lured you to that album.
Yeah.
You're going to run that one, but the rest of it might have been
It's happened multiple times.
I mean, I think everybody has a song on their album that'll get some run at the end of the day. And something I can work with. But, like overall, it like he said, he's advertising it as a dance album.
Yeah,
it might resonate with people younger than us more
That's
than it's
true.
resonating with us. Like,
100%.
Jackson said he really liked it.
Yeah,
that's true. That's it. That's that lane.
And that's where I come back to. Like, I ranked it low, but it's just the way that I felt about it. Like, I didn't think it was horrible. Like I again, like,
no, it's not trash.
A low Tyler is still extremely high for a lot of people. Yeah. So, but that's just my opinion.
No, like I'm not done with this album. Sometimes I listen to records just so we can talk about them here, and then I move on because, like I said, there's so much to listen to, so much. I know I got so much time, but no, like there's several tracks on here I'm going to run.
I think I've been, I don't want to say programmed, but that Clipse album and that Larry June and Carlo album kind of got me in a hole right now.
Gotcha.
So when I pivoted to listen to the Tyler,
it is a pivot.
That's a huge
kind of was
pivot.
Like, okay, I'm ready to get back to this other shit.
Yeah,
no, that's fair.
And I ain't taking nothing away from Tyler because I like Tyler's projects for the most part. Yeah, but this one is just not for me personally. I can take some. I might listen to it again just to see, but. Like I said, it's not a bad album to where it felt like poison to my ears and like that. It's just I wasn't vibing. I'm not in the mood for that right now.
Yep.
Tyler, he's listening to his friends at this point, and he mentioned there is a actual article where he says, I asked some friends why they don't dance in public, and some said because of the fear of being filmed.
Right.
He's like, I thought, damn, a natural form of expression and a certain connection they have with music is now ghost. It made me wonder how much of our human spirit got killed because of the fear of being a meme or just having a good time, which actually makes sense. I never thought about it like that, but in the society that we're in now, he actually makes a good point. He says, I got back from a listening party for this album, and man, it was one of the greatest nights of my life. He says 30 people, no phones allowed, no cameras, just speakers and a sweat box. Everyone dancing, moving, expressing, sweating. It was truly beautiful. I played the album front to back twice, and it felt like pent-up energy finally got released, and we craved the idea of letting more of it out. I mean, as a creative, I'm not mad at that. But how do you think the fans of more of an introspective Tyler or the conceptual Tyler, chromacopia Tyler, how do you think people are going to react to this? Because granted, he's a chameleon to me, but this is a crazy shift from...
I don't think it's that big of a shift like that.
I don't think it's that big of a shift?
It's Tyler. It's almost expected for Tyler to give you something.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
You may not expect from him, so to speak. So I don't think... Especially people that really rock with Tyler, the creator, are thinking like that.
Let me ask you this, bro, since you said that. Do you give him P's for listening to his friends and then applying that to his art? Do you think that's dope? Is there something there, or is that just par for the course at this point?
I don't know what that means.
So my thing is, as a creative, I think sometimes you listen to your friends, and other times I think I would tell people not to listen to your friends because you have to do you. So the fact that he's crowdsourcing, asking people public opinion to see what's what,
But did they ask him to make a dance album? To me, it sounds like he asked, "Why aren't you dancing anymore?"
That's fair.
They told him why they aren't dancing anymore,
and then he applied that.
He made an album.
Yeah,
he had a party.
Yeah.
Invited these people to listen to the album with no phones and no nothing.
Yeah,
so that they could, you know what I'm saying, be outside their body and lose all their inhibitions for a minute.
Yeah,
but those are his people.
Yeah,
like
that's
imagine
fair.
being invited to a party by Tyler the Creator and your expectation is to dance and have fun. Are you not going to dance and have fun?
Right.
Yeah, that's not that hard to figure out.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and
okay,
this ain't taking nothing away from him because I know he don't rock with podcasts anyway. So he might, if he were to see this, he'll probably in our whole conversation because we even talking about it. But we don't dislike
we rock
Tyler.
With you, Tyler. We rock with you.
I think Tyler is being Tyler. His name is in his name, Tyler the Creator. He's out here to create different things, different vibes, different energies, different sounds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just who he is.
Yeah.
And so I don't think this is left field at all. I think he just put something out. He was feeling this on his spirit at the moment. He wants to make people move. You know what I'm saying? He wants to make people feel like him because if you see anytime Tyler's performing or anything, he's always dancing and moving.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Even on Chromacopia, he out there losing his mind. That's facts.
Yeah.
What you think, Lone? Not that much of a pivot, just pretty much.
No, I don't think it's much of a pivot at all. I just wasn't impressed by these particular 10 records. That's all. That's really all it was.
Yeah.
I feel like he's an artist that typically when he drops something, you're not really sure exactly what you're going to get from him.
That's true.
And that's part of the allure. This sounds just like a continuation of previous stuff. So maybe that's partially into why I was just kind of like, okay, this is cool. It's like an extension from his last record.
It's Tyler being Tyler.
Yeah, doing things that he's doing. But no, I think I think fans that love the introspective and conceptual Tyler that you're talking about with me, I think they're going to react the way that me and Terry probably reacted to some degree. It's like it's cool. Like it's not that it's bad. Like I'm not I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like it just didn't hit me in the way that I wanted it to. When I think of like a dance album, this is not a dance album that I think of.
Yeah.
Like I've seen a couple people mention stuff like, oh yeah, it's got like K-Tronada-esque type moment. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like,
no, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
And it's like, do you listen to K-Tronada? Like, it's a different type of vibe. I feel like this is just a fun project. It's just fun. Yeah. I don't know if dance is really what it just seems fun,
Yeah.
So, and that's cool. If it's not for me at that moment, who cares?
That part.
Yeah. You don't have to like everything that people give you. Some of my favorite artists have dropped things that I don't really rock with. Yeah. But it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It might have resonated with somebody else. Yeah. Somebody else might like it, but
that's cool.
Yeah.
When you can keep it a buck though, you can do that. You can decipher between the two.
Cisco and Ebert kept it a buck.
Yep.
Right.
They did. What you think, man? What you think, Jay? There's
not
nothing
necessarily,
there.
But yeah, go ahead.
Where everyone used to.
Well, no.
What you think about just?
I once again, it's been 6 months of me not being in the nightclub life, if you will. But I did see that people don't want to dance because everyone has a phone.
I do believe that.
And
I do believe that.
It takes someone to finally get on the floor. Like, I mean, and I'm not just talking about younger people. Sometimes, I went to a situation this weekend where I'm like, hey, it's a whole dance floor here. Y'all just kind of standing around. And
people was having fun there,
but then, like, once it kicked off, it kicked off.
Yeah.
It's like it's almost like you have to see someone else having fun to loosen up and want to enjoy yourself.
And you want to tiptoe out there and be involved.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird thing because that used to be the thing. Like, yo, if we go out, we're going to, no
matter who's watching, it didn't matter.
Cut a little rug, but that's not really the thing now. People come and they literally, even if they don't have VIP, just stand around or hanging out the bar, and it takes
too cool.
It takes until the end of the night, maybe, to where people want to shake a little ass, But that's just the culture now.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you see, and the people don't have those inhibitions, if you will, but you see a lot more than you don't, and I think that's I don't know. I don't want to say it's sad, but it's like where is that kind of man woman thing happening out on the dance floor that that we used to do? Like remember.
Well, I got a couple examples I could say, but I'm not going to say on the show.
Right. But once people get into it, I think that is messed up because when we shout out to to Nate Jeezy. You know, he was here, was interviewed for a project that we have coming up, and you know, he said, "I'm just so glad, like, you know, when I was trying to get my rap career started, it wasn't any smartphones,
man.
You know, because now if you step out and try to do something, whether it be good or bad, it's all documented somehow.
Yeah.
People are afraid of being cringe. That's what a lot of it is. People are afraid of being cringe.
Oh, being cringe. Okay.
It's like there's this real fear about, like, I don't want to be cringe because I don't want people to judge me in a very specific type of way. And life kind of lives in the cringe a little bit. You know, it's okay to be a little cringy. You know, this is what it is.
You know, but that once again, like everybody's always being recorded somehow.
Everybody's too cool.
Whether it be people trying to get into the club at WNBA All-Star Weekend, or you know, people at a what was it, Coldplay concert?
Yeah,
you know, it's like that. You know, 20 years ago, that would have never been captured and disseminated through all forms of media in the way it was, because everyone didn't have a high definition camera in their pocket. You know, also, I think if you're going to be out creeping, you know, just act like nothing happened. You know, once you tried to push the girl away and all that stuff, then it made you look hella guilty. But that's neither here nor there. But like, I think that's part of it. People are just afraid to live their lives and then sometimes enjoy themselves. And I think that's sad.
And it's not going away.
No, it's only going to get worse. It's like, I remember when I went to go, who would I go? I remember I went to go see Jay-Z, and like, I found myself, you know, doing this with my phone, and I'm like, or first of all, who am I going to show this to?
That part.
Second of all, it's like when people record fireworks. Who are you going to show? I've never been somewhere and been like, hey man, you got any videos of fireworks on your phone? Like, nobody cares.
Can I see them, please?
Yeah.
You know, so like, do better about living in the moment.
Yeah, people are too busy trying to impress social media. At the end of the day, everything has to look like a movie, so they're not going to have fun. People aren't out to sweat. They want to show you their new outfit and act like it was the greatest night ever, essentially. So
it's a movie.
Yeah, those days
That's
are gone.
the phrase. It's
you know
a movie. We used to movie out here.
I remember going out, and you would be tired from having a good time.
Oh yeah,
at the club. You know what I'm saying? And still would go out and get something to eat, clown there.
Yep.
Get home maybe when the sun is coming up. Like, those days are gone, man. We're not going to get those days back. But shout out to him for trying to restore the feeling.
Sure.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah, but hopefully it restores the feeling for the younger generation. But I just don't see it. It definitely doesn't resonate with our generation as far as making us want to dance off the Tyler, the Creator. It's hard even trying to convert people over to listen to Tyler, the Creator.
Yeah.
So this wouldn't be the one that I would probably introduce to him.
Yeah. Appreciate the effort, though. He had the parts, he had the suit. I saw where he was going, so I get it. So hopefully it lands the way that you know, he wants it to land. But yeah, we still pro Tyler at the end of the day. Like, all of them ain't gonna hit, man. This is reality.
He's one of those artists that's in a position to where he can do what he wants to do at this time.
Yeah.
So if he wants to drop an album that was 28 minutes long, 10 tracks, and drop it on a Monday, he can do that, and then he can do something else totally different a year or two from now. That's
a rare position to be in, when you can pretty much just finally get to the point where you can be the creative that you've always been. Yeah. Because as a creative, when you're younger, your imagination is crazy. I can do whatever I want, and then I can hit, you know, fail until some hits. But he's to the point now where it's like, it don't matter.
It don't matter. Like,
and that's where a lot of dope creative freedom comes, when it's like, I don't care.
Yeah, the last album hasn't even been out a year. He pulled a DMX. Because when DMX dropped "It's Dark and Hell Is Hot," he followed that up with
"Flesh of My Flesh,"
"Blood of My Blood," all in the same calendar year. So
I don't know if I've seen an artist be on a major tour like that. Like, I think they said 6 months in or so, and then he drops his project, and we're talking about that one still coming off the last one that we all enjoyed. That's a little different. I know what you said about
He might just add a couple of the songs to his set list at the end of the day.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Tyler, man. We rock with you, brother. Sometimes it just ain't it. There's a couple, but
Jay Moore co-signs.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Jay Moore is in. I think we won 1 to 3 on this one. But, it ain't trash, but this might not be the one, bro, for me. And that's all right. That's all right.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member. All details on newoldheads.com.
The Clipse just won't go away, man. The Clipse are still out here in these streets making waves and interviewing and
They doing it the old-fashioned way.
yeah, man, having people
Actually talking to journalists.
Yeah, talking to journalists and, making the rounds, as you will. That's just something that we saw growing up. People used to make the rounds and hit the radio stations and, was started to bring up some conversations about their rollout. So the question is, the Clipse album rollout, is this all-time great? This is an all-time great rollout. Because I'm seeing a lot of people say they hit the nail on the head in terms of how this was released.
Absolutely
so let me say my piece and then we can get into it. Okay. Yeah. So I'm talking about from interviews with Elliott Wilson, GQ, the New York Times. Now they have had a couple features that have popped up here and there for the past, couple years. It seems like they were on the track to getting it right. They also dropped the 2 singles leading into the project. They had festival reunions. And they also had the controversy with Roc Nation, Kendrick, The Verse. All of this
Louis
stuff.
Vuitton fashion show.
Thank you, Louis Vuitton fashion show.
ESPYs.
Yeah, all this stuff led up into.
That was awkward.
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
it was horrible.
They played some of the joints at the WNBA game.
Thank you.
All-Star game.
There we go. Thank you. So all this led up to this Clipse explosion, right?
Sure.
So what do you guys think? Is this rollout truly an all-time great rollout? And I want to ask why or why not?
No, because I remember what rollouts look like. When there was no streamers to go sit down.
Hold on,
with
time out. So this is an updated Kid podcast. You cannot use those metrics. You have to think about where we are now.
I can actually
and what they're
use
doing
those
now
metrics
because Malice is 52 and Pusha late 40s.
Right. Because when you're talking about,
you have to do it now, right?
But when you're talking about
saying
all
great
time,
of all time, you have to include all time.
Then no.
Okay.
I mean, I remember when
one of the greatest.
No. This is we're so used to a level of mediocrity and laziness when it comes to people saying, "Hey, I got some art out there, check it out."
That applies to this?
No, this doesn't. Like the fact that there's a level of effort put into it.
Okay.
Like we want to put it as all time, but like I remember when the crazy lead up to, and of course it's Michael Jackson, but the crazy lead up to Michael Jackson albums.
No, you can't.
And then you're gonna take it to hip hop. I remember the crazy lead up to, when Jay-Z put out Kingdom Come, Budweiser deal on Monday Night Football,
Doggy Style.
When I'm thinking about rollouts, I remember when everybody had a real rollout.
Had to.
And so when you're talking about like now, what you're seeing is just more of a traditional rollout. But to say this is an all-time rollout, it's not even close.
So
not even in the hip-hop world.
Let me ask you this, to your point.
You want to talk about a rollout? Let's talk about Dr. Dre 2001, where he showed up in Times Square with the Lowrider. That was an all-time rollout.
I'm not doing that because I'm bringing everything up to where we are now in an era where this doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's the problem. We think it's great because it doesn't happen.
But I could see your argument having more credence if the album flopped. Not only did they do this, but the album is successful in the first couple weeks. In today's era where nobody cops records, does that count?
I think the problem is you're saying is the Clipse album rollout the greatest of all, or the all time.
I should have said one of the greatest of all time. That's my mistake.
This is a great album rollout.
Okay.
When you talk about all time, then no, you can't.
Okay.
These are artists that are cut from the same cloth as those same artists because they've been out since then. So they're doing the exact same thing that they've been doing it, but they're just doing it. They're using more resources now. They've been the Clipse for 25 years, and they've been successful. So they can do it on a grander scale now that still mirrors what was done of old.
So let me ask you this, bro. Coming right back to you. So if you take into the consideration the times that we're in now, their age,
You can't say their age, though. What does your age have to do with it?
Because to me, this is just my opinion. To me, they're not supposed to be this successful at that age.
But what does that have to do with the rollout?
Because to me, this LL Cool J didn't roll out nothing like this, and he older than both of them.
Well, people wasn't anticipating the LL Cool J album the same way they're anticipating.
But what I'm saying is,
album.
to me, when I see the Clipse are like a, and I hate to say this, but I'm using this from an R&B standpoint. It's like a legacy act at this point.
Well, you have to consider,
right? Or am I wrong?
Pusha T has never stopped.
I'm talking about the Clipse, though.
Okay, but Pusha T is part of the Clipse.
Yeah.
Pusha T has never stopped putting out music. Malice hasn't either. He just didn't release secular music.
Right.
People have been wanting a Clipse album for the past 15 years. Have they not?
I don't know if they've been wanting it like that outside of, we fool with the Clipse. So I don't know. I don't know if the masses have been waiting on the Clipse album.
I'll say it like this. If somebody was a Pusha T fan,
okay,
or somebody was a Clipse fan back in the day, there's been murmurs of when are y'all going to drop a Clipse album? And he would say, you have to talk to my brother about that. My brother doesn't do this anymore.
That's fair.
I'm out here by myself right now.
That's fair.
So they pretty much just picked up where they left off. I don't feel like, and age has nothing to do with that. I don't think. I mean, you're bringing up that dude is 52 and Pusha T, Malice is 52 and Pusha T is 48.
I'm giving them peace for that, by the way.
But that has nothing to do with them rolling out an album.
I think it does, actually.
I think it does.
All right. So I actually disagree on many accounts here. So I was just letting y'all get your stuff off.
That's fine.
The Clipse rolled out in a very traditional way that does not work unless you are a legacy, to Mike's point, unless you are already a legacy artist.
Right.
Or you are somebody that already has the connections to where you can hit all of the major legacy media places, that you have connections at the ESPYs, that you have connections with the NBA, that you have connections with the Rock Nation, that you can do all these things. Nobody can do what the Clipse did. Nobody, unless you have been in the game for a long period of time.
And I talked about them being in the game and having those resources.
Sure. I think what they did as far as this rollout is actually pretty spectacular, but I also don't think that anybody else should, number one, try to do it that way. I think it would be stupid to try it that way. They are a one-of-one type of act that has a legacy behind them.
Yeah.
That has all these connections to all these people. Yeah, even have the Kanye West controversy. You have all this stuff. You have Pharrell Williams attached to the project.
You have a Kendrick Lamar feature.
Yes. Yeah. All these things this will not work well for 99.9% of any artist that wants to release a record. It just won't. It's just not going to work. The legacy media is the people that consume that are the people that want a Clipse album.
Yeah.
That, So,
if you consider that legacy, because that's pretty much what I said. People have wanted a Clipse album.
Those people, yeah.
All right. So Pusha T's never stopped, though.
Sure.
So he still has people checking for him. Yeah. It's just a Clipse album. My whole point is, they did something that's great, that's awesome. But when we talk about the greatest rollout of all time, I can't go for that. There's nothing you can tell me that's going to make me say this is the greatest rollout of all time. This is a great rollout for the 2000s. Let's say 2010s, 2020s, right now.
I'll take that. So one of the greatest. Maybe the wording is wrong.
I think the reason why you could potentially put it in that category, even though this is something that I don't give an entire out. Who cares who has the greatest rollout of all time, right?
Yeah, we just talking.
But the fact that they were able to accomplish this in this particular climate where legacy media is dying,
that's my
talk
point.
Shows are going away. Live streamers are becoming the new go-to thing. They didn't do any of that.
Yep.
I think when you factor all that into the where they're at and the fact that they did well, I think that this was a spectacular rollout for them specifically. And I think we are just used to it as people that like these legacy artists. We've seen this a bazillion times over. This isn't a new model, but it is a new model to people that are used to just people just dropping
that part,
or going to a streamer or doing stuff like that. We've seen this for 20, 30 years or longer than that.
But what you're saying is what makes it unique to this time frame.
It makes it unique to this time frame and to them specifically. Like Kanye doesn't have to do this.
No.
It's very unique. Very, very, very unique to the Clipse specifically.
Yeah.
So I think what I would word this as is the Clipse did exactly, whoever's in charge of their promotion, their PR team, they did exactly what they needed to do for their artists to get them in the place that they needed to be. So kudos to you.
That's real.
That's a different conversation.
That's real.
If you're talking about what they were supposed to do and what they did with what they have, the resources, and the music actually spoke for itself. It was a good project.
That's the part.
Except for the ESPYs. The ESPYs was, whew.
I didn't even see the ESPYs.
Yeah, the ESPYs wasn't it, though.
Yeah, they tried to go out there and do grinding. And,
the crowd was not even.
That wasn't it. That wasn't it.
It was weird.
That wasn't it.
You guys
That's the only one where I'm like, nah, we could have kept that one.
Yeah.
Everything else is money, but that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
I still think we kind of not, or some people ain't giving the Clipse they peas, because, I mean, as far as like a rap duo, I feel like the Clipse have never dropped a dud.
No.
Well, Mike Tyson blow to the face. It was on that record.
That is not a bad record, man. I don't care how many times you keep saying that. That is not a bad record.
Go listen to Raekwon's album. Every single one of those beats could replace that beat, and it would have a bigger impact.
I gotta agree with him on that one, man. I gotta agree with him on that one.
The whole feeling of the whole song to me is cool. I like it.
I'm with Lone on that one.
I'm losing faith in the world. I'm sorry.
Off of that,
I'm with Lone on that one. I ain't arguing with you.
Deep in my soul.
Really?
I can't argue with him on that one.
I'm sure you've heard a lot worse. Being a content curator,
I know
that there's no way that you can put that as something that's hurting the world.
Look,
he's heard a lot of stuff that hurts the world.
If it wasn't Pusha T and Malice on that record,
how funny would that be?
That beat is not that bad, man.
It's that bad, bro.
It's not.
It's that bad.
It's not.
It's really bad.
And you know, we two people that's telling you the truth.
Well, y'all make beats and produce, and y'all do things of that.
I think
nature.
it's also. I think maybe
I agree with you guys on a lot of things, but that song is just not a bad song.
I think also maybe the fact that it is a 1-bar loop, and the fact that I could probably make that in less than 30 seconds.
That goes into it, doesn't it? It does. It goes into it.
It's like.
Lone could just fall out the chair and do that. And Pharrell's better than that. Yeah, that goes into it as well.
That's part of it.
Pharrell's better than he's way better than that.
Yeah, well,
but whatever. It's neither here nor there. Whatever.
It's a great album. It was a great rollout.
Yeah, it fit with the album enough.
Yeah. Jay, what you think, man? Where we at?
Like I said, it's just whenever people try to say of all time or the greatest.
One of, bro.
No, I'm not even putting it in that category. I've seen some incredible things as far as like, the promotion, some of the stuff they used to do as far as not publicity stunts, but the things that they do to roll out an album, the things
magnetize the artists.
I think about, even though I remember the Big Bang, for Busta Rhymes, they really pulled out all the stops Aftermath did to get that album.
Did they have a budget for that?
Well, yes, they had a budget.
Okay.
Oh, you don't think there's a budget involved with getting the Clipse to all these places?
Not like it was back then. Not like it was back then.
I mean, and once again, I'm not just saying, compared to these people who go sit down with Kai Cenat or whoever. Like, I'm talking about, when you talk about all time, I'm talking about all time. So, the
50 Cent and Kanye.
Now
that was a great rollout for the both of them.
Now that right
joint
there,
rollout.
That's one of the top ones. Now that is crazy. That's a different level. I agree.
So I just. Like I said, I think this is specific to them. This is something that they could pull off. Like, even when, LL did his, rollout, if you will, he sat down and, he was with Shannon Sharp. He talked to Charlemagne the God, he talked to people who are actually, I'd say a little bit more contemporary in the media space now. It's just there was a different vibe behind it, and I like the LL record, but
it ain't laying like this.
Well, the music of the clip put out was better, and I like the LL record. I thought there were some joints on there, especially the first 2 or 3 that they put out. The one with because the ones that I felt like Q-Tip was really in his bag, but having an LL Cool J record produced by Q-Tip just doesn't move the needle the same way as a Clipse album produced entirely by Pharrell.
It would have if it was better.
No, I don't think it would have.
Because that's more so. So when we talk about a legacy artist, I think about LL as a legacy artist.
Yes.
Versus Clipse, and again, Clipse have been in the game a long time, but they're still active. LL has not dropped an album in before this. I don't know how long. Early 2000s.
No, he
maybe
put out.
2010.
It's been long.
There was Exit 13, but that was still. That was still well over.
He's
15.
not the LL that people were checking for.
Right.
The reason why I feel like they're not a legacy artist like that is because people are still checking for him.
I think you're putting a lot of weight on Pusha's activity.
No, I'm not.
No.
He's been very active.
No, I'm saying you're putting a lot of weight on Pusha's activity as it relates to the Clipse.
The Clipse's entity.
Yeah, like I think you're putting a lot of weight on Pusha's.
I think so, maybe a little bit too. Like I feel like there's different levels of legacy. Obviously LL is more of a legacy artist than Clipse, but the Clipse as an entity together haven't dropped anything
in 15 years.
15 years, yeah.
So I think there's just levels to it, but I didn't really think I was ever going to get another Clipse album. So
I ain't either, but I'm saying
I
guess I gauge a legacy artist as something totally different.
Yeah, we're older, man.
Yeah,
we older.
But legacy artists are usually artists that are touring specifically off of their older
records.
shit.
Yeah,
they're not dropping. So like, if they drop an album right now, and you go to their concert, you might not really rock with that album. You would rather hear the old. Whereas the Clipse just dropped an album where if they go on tour right now, I just want to hear this. Right. You might be able to give me like 2 or 3 songs off something else. You can do your legacy tour later.
What do you think Pusha was performing on his shows? His solo joints or his verses from the Clipse?
Probably a mixture of both.
Probably
I
both.
would say so.
But every artist does. It doesn't matter how long you've been around. Every artist, when they tour, does something, unless it's an album specific tour. I'm going to play this album from front to back. Mm-hmm. Every artist includes some joints off their later albums.
They'd be dumb not to.
Earlier, you know what I'm saying?
They'd be dumb not to.
I mean, and that's why when I think of a legacy artist, I don't classify them as a legacy artist. I feel like they're still very active to the point where I still expect dope new shit from them versus I just want to go here, get rich or die trying. Play it from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm. Either way, the project dope. I'm glad they're successful, and I see the Billboard numbers, an independent album, and all the rest of that stuff. So
great job.
Shout out to them for winning.
Like 100-some thousand in the first week. Which is a win in today's climate.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah, and I stopped into Indie CD and Vinyl because I wanted to get the actual physical piece.
Yeah,
they were sold out.
That's even better.
You can get it on Complex.
I had a special order. Well, I wanted to go to Indie CD and Vinyl.
But I get the T-shirt and the pack and everything.
Oh,
I like to get my hands on the wax.
Yeah,
I like to get the wax for this one.
Yeah, same way I got the killer mic. I wanted to have this as an actual. I had to go as a full because once again, because in the streaming era, I'm never going to probably be able to listen to these songs enough times for it to count as a full sale, and like that's what they deserve from me as a consumer and as a fan.
I can dig it. Shout out to Indie CD and Vinyl.
Yep.
We just talked about the Clipse, and we had our spirited, heated discussion about their rollout or whatever. And again, ain't nobody hating the Clipse at the end of the day. This is a pro Clipse podcast, so salute to them. But the Clipse recently sat down with Joe and Jada on their podcast, and Fat Joe brought up the topic of
drinking 40 Diet Cokes a day.
I didn't see that, but y'all told me about that. Sorry. It's basically talking about the Clipse and it being a one-trick pony as it relates to their subject matter when they rap. So let's watch the video and then discuss, how this was how Pusha T broke down his response to being looked at as a one-trick pony as it relates to the Clipse and just him in general.
Rap has always come from a very real place. So with that being said, and being in it, 23 years, at this point, I liken it to, somebody who loves mob movies or a person, a person that's what they choose to. Like, I don't watch horror. I watch A&E. It's scarier. I believe it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I liken my music to that as well. You listen, you can't please everybody. But listen, 23 years in this, I'm not trying to please nobody but myself. Like, that's what I care about. Like, I know my taste, my ear, and what it is that I want to hear that resonates with a certain type of person. That's the type of person I want to talk to. That's the person I like person, you know what I'm saying? That I know the person who says that, who says like, oh, you know,
that's
he talk that
unnecessary.
heavy this and that. Like, man, I'm sure I don't even gel with you anyway.
We don't even like you.
I know I don't like you. I'm positive I don't like you.
We don't like you. Like, you not even my type of dude.
You not, man.
It's crazy. Everything Fat Joe be saying feel like a lie now. Like he just be
Feel like a lie.
He cap on everything. He's laugh. Like it's cap when he do that.
Don't
Like,
do him like that, man.
but
Send him a case of Cokes.
diet. Yeah. What do y'all think about Push's story or justification to why, you know, he is who he is? What do you guys think about that?
Everyone has their process, you know, and who am I to tell you or how to create? You know, one of the things, but you know, there was somebody I was listening to that I respect as a journalist, but like when he was talking about the Clipse album, I was like, oh, you didn't listen at all, did you? Yeah. You know, and it was like, and I know you didn't listen from the beginning with, you know, the record that we talked about last week that just hit everybody in the heart. You know, because I understand that there's still a lot of luxury coke rap on there, but that's what I'm here for when I get a Clipse album. But also when you can't even say that that's the dominant thing. And, you know, because you listen to Malice rap, you know, just because he's not, you know, speaking directly to the gospel, which was what he did when he was No Malice. Yeah. You know, there's still a level of complexity and introspection there that is not just all what I've, you know, deemed luxury coke rap. You know, so sometimes we have lazy arguments in conversations about art because it's easy. And I don't think that really fits what the Clipse did here as an entire body of work. So I just, once again, I wouldn't tell anybody how to create. I wouldn't tell anybody what their perspective, which they rap from, is somehow flawed because I think they should talk about something different.
I do. I tell Drake that all the time on the show. And so does everybody else.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, actually,
but he's a pop star.
I contradict myself with certain artists. And the reason why, because I mean, we had a whole conversation, like he brought up Drake. Yeah. We talked about Lil Wayne. Mm-hmm. There's no growth in what what they're doing. I feel like, and this might be biased, I don't know, but when I hear a Clipse album, or specifically Clipse, or even Pusha T leading up to this Clipse album, the subject matter is there, and I get the reference to it being like a Scorsese movie, like you're going to watch this movie, or you're listening to it for a specific reason. Yeah, I feel like there's growth in it being linear, because the verses and the quality of it, to me, has gotten better. So he's using a lot of the same things, telling different stories. He's using different imagery to describe it. It's not stale. It doesn't sound the exact same. Right. I know I'm going to get the same style rap from this particular artist or these particular artists, but it still sounds like an evolution to me. It doesn't sound like it's linear. Yeah. And that's why I'm kind of biased when it comes to certain people doing the same thing over and over. Because if you're stuck in the same rut and every album sound is the exact same, then yeah, I'm bored. I don't want to hear this shit. But I feel like their presentation is still evolving. It's still different. It still sounds fresh.
Yeah, I think as a complete package too. Yeah. Like the whole package. It's not just about just the bars, but it is very specifically about like how they're putting their wordplay together and the subtleties in it. You know, like even like there is almost a lore around the Clipse and coke rap.
And how can they flip it this time?
100%. You know what I mean? So like when we listen to The Birds Don't Sing in the beginning and Malice mentions finding bass in the cupboard. Yeah. Like it's playing into the lore a little bit, right? Yeah. But it's also like part of the story that is very integral to what they're saying. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying there.
Good point. Yeah, because they find ways to reinvent themselves lyrically, wordplay, and especially with, you know, Pharrell being able to produce and not be outdated. He didn't go for what they used to do. It's the newer version of what they used to do.
Mostly.
Well,
I'm gonna die.
I mean, I do think they stayed true to who they were.
A couple instances, but
they updated the kit. There's some joints on there that are reminiscent of old
facts.
But as a whole, it sounds like growth. This is an album that came out, what now, two weeks ago.
Yeah.
That sounds fresher than a lot of things that have came out the past 5 years or so. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
a good point. That's a good point.
It's still, they still have life on what they're doing. It's not repetitive in a sense of I'm getting the same story. I feel like, and even with him comparing it to movies, there's different movies. Like you as a screenwriter, you're writing the same style of movie every time, but it's a different story and it's still intriguing.
Yeah, it's just like part 2 or part 3.
Right.
You know, like it's a continuation. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think, and I agree with kind of the way that Pusha kind of leaned extra into it. You know, it's like, this is, you know, you guys know what you're going to get from me. I'm going to give it to you in a particular type of way. I'm not going to give you somebody that isn't me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that the people that I like wouldn't, or that I want to like my stuff, and the people that like me for the reasons that like me aren't going to like me if I'm not myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, why would I cater to the people that want to hear me do a dance album or whatever else? You know what I mean? I'm not going to do that. I went to the extreme, but can you imagine? Can you imagine Pusha T doing like a Tyler the Creator?
Absolutely
don't
not.
Tap the Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can do exactly what they did and just appear in the video.
Yeah, exactly.
That part. That's all we need. We don't need any more of that. Anything other than that. All right, man. Shout out to the Clipse for staying true and being able to evolve and not be outdated, if you will. Yeah.
It's not still.
It's not still at all, to your point. NewOldHeads.com for all the education that you need this year. If you see it, like it, subscribe, hit any bell you see for notifications. Also remember to give us a 5-star rating on any platform where you see such. And don't forget, our Patreon has our full, unedited, exclusive episodes. We appreciate the support, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah.
In trouble getting that one out.
Made it, though.